Hello, lovelies. Thank you so much for being here. I see there are several of you waiting, and several of you have dropped your questions in the chat. Please excuse my lateness. That's something that you've come to expect by now, I'm sure. So, I'm doing live spirit readings for my audience. If you're watching this in the replay, just know that this also applies to you. At a higher vibration, there's sameness, there's harmony, there are coincidences, and we have created quite a bit of magic on these lives. So just tune in, open up your heart, get ready to receive exactly what's right for you. And I like to start by tuning into what the theme for tonight is going to be. And I always do it in the moment. I don't do it ahead of time. Although little things do drop in as I'm getting ready. There's a lot that goes into getting ready. A whole lot. And I might look all right, but I'm going to be 52 on Friday. Takes some effort. Takes some effort to get everything just right so I can show up as pretty as can be. And I have to talk about how it's my birthday because I'm a Leo. So, the theme for tonight, it has to do with the heart, has to do with the emotional experience. We can be so mystified by our emotions. Emotions contain information, and they always contain information for you, but they are not necessarily the truth. Emotions are a physical sensation that we feel in the body. There are chemicals that have to be released in the body in order for you to fully feel the emotion. That's part of the emotional experience, too. But it is not necessarily the truth. Even though it's not the truth, it still contains incredibly important information for you. And that's why it's so important that we allow ourselves to feel our emotions, allow ourselves to meditate on our emotions, sit with our emotions, because the mind repeats what the heart wants to heal. So anything that you are constantly in loops of thought about, it's a sign that your heart and your emotions are asking for your attention. So this episode is going to be about healing the heart. So I was not able to make it last week. I have had a cat who is very sick with a kidney infection. If you know anything about kitties, you know how dangerous that can be for cats. And we thought maybe he wasn't going to make it. And he's still not doing great. I'm probably going to have to bring him back, but he's young. And I think he has a really, really good chance of making it. He's shown a lot of improvement, a whole lot. So when I canceled last week, I put a message on my calendar to tell people to email me questions if they see the message. And I don't know how many people saw the message, but only one person emailed me, and they are going to be first in line. So we're going to start with Sophia's question that I got last week. And Sophia is in a good place after a breakup. But what I'm assuming is that she wants to get clear on what happened in that last relationship. You know, that's good. That's good when you go through a breakup to try to get clear on what happened so that you're not just jumping into another relationship and making the same mistakes over and over again. And even though it can be so disappointing when a relationship doesn't work out, there are learning experiences and we're always on our path. So so I guess that the relationship got kind of bad because she feels like a weight's been lifted off of her shoulders, but she cares for him and she really liked him a lot at one time. And so even though she knows that they're not meant for each other, she's curious what was going on with him internally and what exactly were his feelings towards her. And so he is an emotional avoidant, and he didn't know how to express his feelings. He didn't know how to deal with conflict. He didn't know how to resolve problems. And he was going through a lot of stress. So sometimes he acted like he cared for her, sometimes he didn't. And he would get upset really easily. And he had a way of always knocking her down just a little bit. And he would do it in a joking way, but it didn't feel like a joke. You ever experienced that? I know I have. So when I read that, I've always been the one who's attracted to the emotional avoidance, if not the complete narcissist. So I've always been the anxious one, who just wants to think everything through and solve everything and just really really put all my focus on the relationship. So I have dealt with this type so many times. So when I read this, I just, oh my gosh, there's so many things I could say. So many things. Because man, have I just studied the dating coaches and just worn myself out learning everything that I possibly can about men, men and women, but mostly men. Just why do we do these things? What is that tendency towards avoidance? And what specifically is going on with Sophia and her ex boyfriend? So, big rush to the heart, even though she knows it's good and even though she feels the weight lifted off, there's still pain. There's still pain in the heart. There's a feeling of loss. There's a hurting. She wants to she wants to fix him. She still wants to fix him. That's still like the main thing going through her head. Even though the relationship's over, she still wants to fix him. And what I'm seeing is her inner child. Her inner child in her power chakra in the past being burdened with the responsibility of trying to create a mending after a break. So, Sophia, this could have been with an older sibling, maybe even a younger sibling. And what I'm hearing is like specifically with one parent that there would be a fight, like something would go wrong, you'd get in trouble, there'd be yelling, maybe a spanking, and then there would just be this cold silence. And nobody would come to mend it. Nobody would talk about it or try to explain it to you or try to make you feel better. And so I'm seeing you as a small child feeling this disconnection and wanting to make it better. And so this relationship came to you because it was a vibrational match to this situation that has been unhealed in you. And I actually just drew this little thing. Oh, I hope I can find it. I was just talking to a client today. Yeah. Just talking to a client today. So, I'm always talking about this thing, this little, I need to come up with a good name for this because there are so many different names for it. I need to figure out what I'm going to call it. So this is a symbol. It basically means the center point, and it's the symbol for the sun in the zodiac. In the middle is what I consider to be like the way that I'm teaching it, the way I'm using this as a reference is in the middle is your heart. It is also the seat of the soul. And so it's that point right in the middle of your chest where the wisdom of God can be found. And then this ring out here, it can represent your body, it could represent your energy field, it could represent your manifestation, but it's specifically like your healthy body and your wanted manifestation and your clear energy field. So that's what this represents. And and so the more we can clear this space in between these two things, then the more we will feel the power of God that is within us, and the more we'll feel connected to it, and the more we will hear it, and the more we can manifest exactly what we want, because there is a clear vision between here and here. And so what I am seeing, Sophia, is this kind of situation. So here's your soul. Here, this little dark mark right here, this is the experience that you had when you were a child. And it creates a block in your energy field, or in your body, or however you want to think about it. It creates an emotional block, and it makes it to where you can't see that area of life. You can't see, you know, you can't see clearly. Your perception is is um it's blocked. Your perception is blocked. You can't, like, and it's like literally a heart wall. It's a place where you're not able to fully feel love. And so that's what happens. And then you believe it to be true, you believe it to be reality. And so the law of attraction will bring you another experience that matches it, reinforcing your beliefs. And it doesn't matter how untrue those beliefs are. The beliefs could be, I'm not lovable, I'm not interesting, people are always going to be mean to me, you have to expect people to be unkind, whatever the beliefs may be. You will continue to attract experiences that match it until you wake up enough and gain enough awareness and enough wisdom to see that you are attracting this into your life, and you are just experiencing something that is already inside of you. And so you will continue to experience and continue to experience it as long as you're blaming and seeing it as something that happened to you, and seeing it as the truth. But if you can see it as an opportunity to heal, then that's when things get really good. That's when you are able to open up that part of your heart that's been closed. You're able to actually attract a relationship into your life that is what you truly want, what you truly want. And so these things going wrong, it it's unfortunate that it's that way. We don't want it to be that way, but every single time it's a gift. Every single time it's an opportunity to learn. And so that's what I'm seeing, Sophia, that it is a repeat from things from your childhood, and this is an opportunity to see what needs to change here. Do you need to forgive someone from the past? Do you need to have clearer boundaries? Do you need to have higher standards? Where is it that you betrayed yourself? Where was it in the process that you ignored the red flags and that you put up with treatment that you didn't want to put up with? So you just have to go back and think about it and make a conscious decision to do things differently. And it is so good that you're looking at it in a way where you say you still care for him, because that is so essential in a breakup. So few people practice it. That unconditional love after a breakup. I hear so much. Oh my gosh, so much. Even with the most mature, most spiritual people, that if things work out with a person, things are great, and they'll just continue to forgive them for crap over and over again. But if things don't work out, then fuck them forever. Excuse my French. Like it's like they're either the enemy, or they're, the future love of their life. And that's not love. That is truly not love. And and if there is that kind of weight on a relationship, that, like, if it works out, it's the best thing ever, or if it doesn't work out, it's the worst thing ever. Like, that belief about a relationship can be felt. It's this pressure on the other person, this pressure to be so much for you. And Sophia, I'm not saying that that's what you were doing. I'm just saying that what I'm saying is that it is so good that you're in a place where you feel like you care for him, because that is keeping your heart open. And when we shame and blame and hate the people that we used to date, then we are keeping a permanent wall up on our hearts, and we're making it almost impossible to meet the right person in the future, or even if we do meet the right person in the future, we don't have the full experience of love because there's something in our hearts that is just walled off. So let me see what so that's what's going on with you in it. Let me see what spirit has to say about what's going on with him. He is still acting like a child. Like I'm seeing him as a child in your power chakra in the future. I feel like I honestly feel like I'm looking more into his energy field right now, but it's the same place where you were. And that to me says that this person was very much a mirror to you, very much put in your life as a learning experience, very important learning experience. So I see him as a child. He is still playing the role of the child. What I'm hearing is that even as a child, you were playing the role of the adult, and now you're playing an even more mature adult. He has always played the role of the child, and he's continuing to play the role of the child in the relationship. But Sophia, what you need is another adult. What you need is someone who will also be concerned for the relationship, also take responsibility for their actions. You're a giver and you deserve to have another giver. So he is seeing things through the eyes of a child. He feels selfish. He feels afraid. He feels like he has to fight for himself. What I'm hearing is that like he felt jealous of you. He felt jealous of your, I guess, like maybe you make more money than him. You are happier than him. What I'm hearing is that you're better looking than him. And so he just felt a little threatened, and that knocking you down was, it was unconscious, but intentional. Intentional from a nervous system level. He was very much trying to bring you down because he saw you as above him, and that made him feel threatened. And so to knock you down in a small way and just feel you energetically shrink, that made him feel like more of an equal to you. But just don't put up with it again. Absolutely do not put up with it again. That is a sign of childish behavior. It really is. It is unconscious childish behavior. And I don't mean to name call and judge. That is truly what's coming through. And I feel like he should know better, but it's not up to you. It's not up to you to teach him or heal him. Just be glad that you got out of it. See it as a very, very valuable learning experience. Okay. So, all right, Sophia, you're here. Okay, so moving back up to the top, Abigail was the first one to leave a message. She was just saying hi. I don't know if she's still here, but if you watch this later, hello, Abigail. So, Andrew, Andrew's question's kind of the same as the last question he asked. What messages does Spirit want you to know right now? So let's see what's changed over a week, huh? Last time it was something about your diet, but the fact that you're asking the same question twice makes me feel like there's something going on. Like there's something going on that you want feedback about, but either you want to test me to see if I'm good or you want to be a little private about it, but there's something going on. There's something going on with you. You're going through some kind of transition, and I'm feeling it in the heart. What's going on with Andrew? What does Andrew's spirit want him to know? So Andrew, if you're still here, are you like do you like somebody right now? Is there like somebody new that you like? Like I'm feeling your heart, pressure in your heart, and I'm feeling someone in your heart chakra in the future. So the feed might be lagging a little bit. Not at the moment. Hmm. Are you like really, really wanting to meet somebody? It's like something that's like you're like really, really wanting. Is this like very present on your mind? Because it's like I'm feeling this like absence, this like opening and like a feeling of absence in the heart. And I'm feeling someone. I don't know if it's someone in particular, but I'm feeling someone in the heart. Definitely a woman, someone wearing a skirt. No, my ex drug me through. Okay. Is this the ex? Yeah. Yeah. So you're kind of like freshly just wanting to focus on me rebuilding your finances. Okay. Okay. So yeah, honestly, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, and since you're here for me to ask, I went ahead and asked. Um this is a block for you. This is I I'm feeling like you're doing the thing that so many of us do, that you're getting out of a bad relationship and you're like, I'm not going to let her bring me down. Like she was crazy, she was difficult, she was hurtful, but you're not going to let her bring you down. And that unfortunately is a closing of the heart. And I feel like, see, there is like we feel like the money and the crazy ex-girlfriend, like we feel like those two things aren't related, but in order for you to fully receive, there has to be, like, it's in our hearts that we receive. It's in our hearts that we receive the entire world. And sexuality in particular runs along the same streams that money does. They are both watery energies. So sexual energy is a sacral chakra energy, and the dominant element of the sacral chakra is water. The dominant element of emotional energy is water, and money is called currency because it flows like a current. It flows like a stream. And so there are so many parts of life where all of these things flow together: emotions, sexuality, and money. And we have to be in a good place with all of those things to be able to receive money. And so there is this, it's like this, what I'm feeling is that this breakup, it messed with your confidence. And that confidence is going to block your ability to make money. And so it's not a situation where you need to like jump into another relationship. You just need to get right with this last one. And what will that involve? To have compassion for her, because I'm sensing that she was a wounded person. She was acting without awareness, acting from a place of survival, stuck in this survival mode that she's been in pretty much her whole life. And you put up with it for too long, and it just knocked down your confidence. And so there's a message to have compassion for her, for one. So don't close your heart to her. Don't close your heart to the whole experience. Keep your heart open to the parts of the experience that you really loved, because you did feel a lot of love for her. And there were a lot of things, especially in the beginning, that felt really, really good. Things that you would be happy to find in another person or find with another person. So keep your heart open to similar things happening in the future, and just let her be exactly who she is and exactly where she is. She doesn't have to be anything else for you. And you learn so much. And so you can just be so grateful for what you learn. So get right with her, and then get right with yourself as you look back on yourself in that relationship. You have to remind yourself, really talk to yourself about it, and tell yourself, like, she treated me like that because of her. That didn't have anything to do with me. I deserve to be treated better. Because when someone we care about is treating us really poorly, then that is it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. It's hard to stay confident. It's hard to hold on to a strong self-concept when you're in a situation like that. And so you have to talk yourself through, talk to the wounded part of you, because it did hurt. She did hurt you. And talk to the wounded part of you, and heal and love that part of you, and have compassion for that part of you that was hurt. So this is more of a block than you realize, specifically because it is hurting your confidence. There's also this, like, thinking specifically of sexual energy. Sexual energy does not have to be expressed sexually. It is a charisma and a confidence and this vibe. It's a vibe, like, you have the right to be here. And that helps so much in money, especially if you're in any kind of sales situation, or not, maybe not even sales, maybe just like working out deals with people. Like, when you can embody sexual confidence in a money situation, and it's not, and once again, it doesn't have to be expressed through sex. It's just this, like, magnetism, and just a being comfortable in your skin, and feeling like kind of excited, just like kind of like enthusiastic and excited about what, like, feeling very engaged. It's like all of these qualities that you bring to, like, a very charged sexual situation, you bring it to the money situation, and it's hard to find that part of you when your ex just ran you through it, ran you through the coals. Is that what that says? I think he had a typo, so healing that with her will allow you to reclaim that magnetic energy that brings in the money and that gives you the energy that you need. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. So going back up, next one, Story Howling Wolves. That's a nice username. What messages does Spirit have for me right now? What is my next step forward for me and my family? Is divorce in my cards, or is reconciliation possible? How do I move forward with peace and strength? And Story, it looks like you've got another question too, but I'm going to focus on that first one. You see how it's all about the heart? So cool. Okay. Story Howling Wolves. What is the next step forward? So, what I am feeling, Story, about your partner, your marriage partner. I believe that you're a woman and he's a man. Doesn't really matter. So, your partner, what I'm feeling is that this person is a life partner for you, whether that is romantic or not, whether there is a legal marriage bond or not. I feel very much like this person is a life partner for you. This is someone who you have a soul contract to go through life with. You have children with this person. If you're still here, put it in the chat. So that's what I'm assuming by your words, and that's what feels accurate to me, that this is a someone that you're married to, you have children together, and that there's been some kind of break. So this person is very much a life partner. You will reconcile with this person if you want to have peace in your heart. Like, you have to find a place of peace, because anytime you are not at peace with this person, you're not going to feel right. It's just like it's become at this point like any other core relationship. And because you're connected through your children, you can't just not talk for 2 years, you know? Like, when we're adults, we can actually do that with, with our siblings and parents. But it still doesn't feel good, it's still a core relationship that ends up creating a block in the energy field. It's a wall in the heart. But because you have children, yes, okay. Because you have children with him, reconciliation is absolutely, not only is it possible, it is absolutely necessary for your own peace. So, so with things like this, I'm trying to sense what the undercurrent is, because there's always an undercurrent that's bringing you into the future. So that undercurrent could be something like very thin, or it could be centuries deep, where there's like absolutely no other possibility, like you're definitely heading towards a certain thing. But I would say most of the time there's some wiggle room in there, And then we always have control over our vibration, even in the cases where divorce is inevitable or a death is inevitable or whatever it may be in a person's life, that we can still hold ourselves at the highest vibration possible and experience the highest vibration version of that situation. This man is a mirror to you. Whatever you see in him that you don't like, you are seeing something in yourself that needs to be healed. And if you can remember that and truly believe it and speak as if that's true and act as if that's true, it's like putting you on a fast track to your healing. It's true with, like, we're a vibrational match to everything that we're experiencing in some way, but in a situation like this where you have a soul contract to go through life with somebody, he is such a mirror to you. So whatever he does that is okay, so let's just say, like, I'm just going to, like, pull a situation out of the sky, and based on what goes on with people, not saying this is your situation, but I'm saying, for example, let's say that a woman has a husband who cheats on her and he has a drinking problem. Okay, so like it's really easy to look at that person and say, he's wrong, he's irresponsible, he hurt me, he's an asshole, I hate him. Like, that's like what most people do, you know? But then when you realize that this person is just a mirror to you and that you have a soul contract with them to go through life together, then you're like, okay, so if they're a mirror, what could that possibly mean? And here are some things that it could possibly mean. He could be showing you a hurt from the past, from your childhood, or even from a past life, but usually it's from childhood. A hurt from childhood that hasn't been healed. Maybe that woman's father cheated on her mother, And maybe she repeated a lot of the same patterns and tolerated a lot of the same things that put her into the exact same situation. And so everything that she did that got herself into the situation where she was in a marriage where the husband was cheating on her, then she has to look at herself and see the ways, like the things that she did to tolerate it, and look at the way that she never forgave her father for doing the same thing. Because the lack of forgiveness ends up just attracting more of the same, because it's a block in the energy field. It makes it to where you can't see, like you can't see what's going on. All of the signs that a man is a cheater will be invisible to the woman who hasn't forgiven her father for cheating on her mother. It's like this. So it's like father cheats on the mother right here in the child's life, and then maybe she has a boyfriend who cheats on her in college, and then she has has somebody else who cheats on her, and then has somebody else who cheats on her, and in this one she's married. It's like the same thing over and over again. It's a vibrational match. Alternatively, it could be like maybe this man is cheating on his wife, but she is being dishonest to her children in some way, or she's being dishonest to her employer in some way. And so he's a vibrational match to her in integrity. Like maybe she's not a cheater, but maybe her integrity needs to be looked at. So like only the person themselves knows. But if everybody could just understand that every core relationship like that, especially, if you got to the point with someone, you're married and have kids with them, they are a mirror to you. And the problems that you have with them is an opportunity to heal yourself. And so if you can just have compassion for them and take your attention off of them as much as possible, then it makes it a little easier to see what it is. And so if you need some help with this, I help people with this kind of thing through through coaching and through doing spirit readings, where I do a deep dive into your energy field. And I did one for a client last night. It was 2 hours long. She had two questions and it was 2 hours long. Because really, like when I go one on one and I go deep, like one on one with your highest self, and I go deep into the energy field, there's so much that I can see. And if you're ready to receive a lot of wisdom and ready to see a lot of your past blocks, they'll come through. Whatever you're ready for will come through. So, story, I hope that helps to clear it up. It's just like the main thing, just in answer your question, reconciliation has to happen, and the best way forward for peace and strength is to realize that he is a mirror to you. And the more you can stop waiting for him to change and stop explaining to him all the things that he did wrong, just put your focus back on yourself. That'll be a fast track to healing for you. So, story, you say you have throat damage and blockages. What steps do you take? So, I'm not sure what you mean by throat damage. I wonder if you've had an illness, or or if you're just saying that there are just energetic blocks. But let's see. Let's see what the message is. Seeing something in the throat chakra in the past, seeing like a muffle around your neck, like a collar, very much like did not have the freedom to speak in your home. Yeah, I'm feeling that really strong, story. I feel like mm, gosh, that is strong. Whoa. I'm feeling things in your heart, as especially as a teenager. Like when you started like getting aware enough where you're like able to see what's going on and you weren't able to talk. Oh my gosh, there is like so much pressure right here. The heart hurts so bad. And then there's like a wide dog collar. So the dog collar to me says like not only were you not allowed to speak, but you were also controlled. And and the parent, it feels like it's a father, the parent who made you feel like you were wearing a dog collar, um, you're taking out that anger on your husband. So I have a video about clearing the throat chakra. And when this live stream is over, I will put it into the chat. I'll link it in the chat. And it's in my Healing with Queen playlist, and it's an older video. There are actually 2 videos I have on the throat chakra, but I've got some really good tools in there, really powerful energy work tools to clear the throat. And they're the kind of tools you can come back to over and over and over. But I think that that would be a really good place for you to start, Story, because you've got some stuff that you have stuck energy that needs to be released, and you just need the freedom to speak. Just fully say what it is that you need to say, and these tools will help you do that. Nobody even has to hear it. The energy still moves the same way. The energy will move more freely if you know nobody's listening. It's still very, very, very powerful. So yes, I'll put that in the. I promise to put that in the chat once this live is done. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, maybe tomorrow, but I promise to do it. And I also want to remind you guys while I'm thinking about it, if you get your answer, uh, if you get your question answered tonight, please make sure to put a comment on the video after this live is over. Because the more you comment and the more you say in your comment, the more YouTube will suggest this video to other people who need help. And so since you are getting a free spirit reading that other people pay hundreds of dollars for, then please do that to help our community grow and help more people get the help that they need, and assist us in getting this video suggested to as many people as possible. And I also just love to hear, I love to hear that I was accurate, and that what I said was helpful. It really means a lot to me to hear that. So let's see. Thank you for telling me that I look beautiful and youthful. I'm an artist too, so I'm really good at the makeup and I'm really good at the lighting. But I do look good for my age. I do look good for 52. Okay. I admit it. And I get away with admitting it because it's natural for me because I'm a Leo. I can brag on myself and it's just kind of funny and cute. I've noticed that. I've noticed that about Leos. Okay. Victoria. Victoria Schneider, do you have any messages from either of my parents who have passed? Oh, okay. Let's see. Victoria. And you asked this a while ago. We're a little behind. Feeling your mother and your power chakra in the past. So she was the one who encouraged you. She was the one who helped you to feel like you could do things. She was the one who just really encouraged your success and celebrated your success. I'm just seeing birthdays. It's so proud. And I know you guys probably know, but when someone passes on, they are with you. I promise. They are with you. They are not bound by time or space because they don't have the confines of a human body. They can be in many places at once. They can even reincarnate into another form and still be with you as their old selves. We are so much more multidimensional than we realize. So if you have lost someone and you are feeling their absence, just know that they are with you. And the more you believe that and the more you intentionally connect with them, the more evidence you will have. And take it from me, I lost my husband of 23 years, and he was my soulmate and the love of my life. And I'm psychic, which helps. But it was it was part of the plan. It was really part of the plan for him to, take a break from living and be my partner on the other side, and he has a lot to do with where I am in my business and me being able to reach people like I have. He's more powerful on the other side. And he's always with me. He never left. He's just transitioned into a different form. So what I'm hearing is that your mother is still playing that role in your life, and she wants for you to visualize and feel that energy that she's sending you, that energy of approval and love. And it's even more now than it was before, because in her human form, she still held on to this fear. She had a beliefs about her own failures, and she had some fears of you having the same hurts and the same failures and the same bad experiences that she had. So there was worry. She had worry. But now, looking at you from her higher perspective, she just she just feels so much joy. She feels so much joy seeing you in your life, having the success that you're having. And your father is, interestingly, like, in the position of a guardian angel. That to me says that you have a really strong soul connection with your father, like, have been with your father many past lives. And so he probably felt like that to you. And he's been your guardian angel before in other lives. Like, such a super, super strong soul connection. Like, he is part of your soul family. So when you want to connect with them, your father's right in front of you, and your mother is, to your right. And I guess that would be like 2 o'clock, like 2 o'clock on your right, like not directly to your side. Like, if you're in the center of the clock, if you're in the center of the clock, your mom's at 2 o'clock, your dad's straight ahead at 12 o'clock. So that's what they wanted to say to you. I hope that that is satisfying to you, Victoria. Okay. Okay, Linda, what's happening on the work front for you this year? Linda Swan, what's happening on the work front? So, Linda, first thing I'm seeing is, um it's it's your third eye chakra lighting up. Are like are you some kind of like, is there something in your line of business where you're using your intuition? I feel like I'm hearing it really strong that, like, you're meant to use your spiritual gifts and find a way to support yourself. And in any job that doesn't feel like that to you is is not going to be satisfying. So we can tap into our intuitive gifts as a teacher or even as a business owner. There are a lot of different ways to tap into your intuitive gifts in a work situation, but I'm, so I don't know what exactly it is that you were doing, Linda, but I just feel very strongly that tuning into your intuition at work is your path to success. That's the thing that's going to make you the most engaged And that's the thing that will bring out your bring out your enthusiasm, bring out your energy, and it will make people notice you, make people feel drawn to you. And so the blocks that you're experiencing in your career path right now, it's it's telling you that what you're going for isn't working. So when something doesn't work, trust it. Trust, like, okay, okay, I get it. I get it. That's a sign that this isn't going to work for me. And and so you are being led to something very specific right now. And the way to find it is to follow your intuition. Trust your intuition. Use this period of uncertainty as a as like the intuition gym. You're going to be practicing your intuition under higher in a higher stake situation, practicing your intuition and being forced to ask yourself over and over and over. And if you have watched my videos at all, gotten into my content at all, then you know that I am always talking about asking your heart. So in the center of your chest, your heart center, the energy center of the heart, there is a signal that is being broadcast to you all day, every day. Your heart is always listening to everything going on, not only in your life, but in the entire quantum field. And it's giving you feedback all the time. And so you can get yeses and nos from your heart. And it is a full body muscle response that can be felt the most strongly in the heart. And so look, if you don't know about this, then look for my videos that talk about the heart. I have many of them. And some of them are just called How to Ask Your Heart, and you can learn more about it there. But that is, if you don't have a tried and true tool for getting yes or no answers from your intuition, that's the best tool that I know of. So you are being guided to something very, very specific. Okay. I'm looking. Okay. Missy D. Do I have any messages for Missy? Missy D. I'm looking to see if you have a picture of yourself. No, that's not you. That's some kind of Shrek thing. Okay. Missy D. Trying to get your vibe, Missy. And you asked this question like 30 minutes ago, but you're next in line. Missy D. So in the past, what I'm seeing is some some hurt, some hurt that is causing a block in your heart and causing a block in your sacral chakra. It it feels like a lot of little things and a couple of big things. And like it feels like mean girls at school, dating guys who are just awful to you. And these are, yeah, I feel like you have started on healing some of this. You're aware of this. You're already at the point where you're seeing that this story is not the truth. What happened to you isn't the truth, and what happened to you doesn't need to continue. But the message is to continue to look at it, continue to feel it, and because when you feel the energy, you are moving the stuck energy, because I'm sensing a block, and it's related. So it's affecting your ability to feel safe to love, and it's affecting your ability to feel safe romantically. and just like have a romantic connection with someone. And it's like what I'm seeing is that like when the romantic connection comes up, the heart becomes very, very blocked. And so you're still like your nervous system is still reacting as if this is the truth, even though you've done some healing on it. And so continue to heal, continue to talk to your younger self and just convince her that this is not the truth, that they were not reflecting the perfection of who you actually are, and that you deserve to be treated better, and that you will be treated better in the future, and a better relationships are absolutely possible for you. So the message is just to continue with your healing work, continue with your spiritual work, because these are both showing as blocks. And I'm just seeing such a bright light in your heart. I'm feeling it in my chest, and I'm seeing a bright light in your heart in the future. And so there's no reason for you to be stuck with this old energy. It needs to be healed. So don't be afraid to look at it. Don't be afraid to feel it, and just continue on your spiritual path to that place that I'm seeing in your future, where you are just feeling so much more love for yourself, for your life, and for the people that you have connections with. So I hope that helps, Missy. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got quite a few questions. Let's see if I can. We've been going for almost an hour, but we've got some more time. Okay. Okay, Victoria. So, Victoria, you asked the question about. mm, Okay. Victoria, second question. Any intuitive hits on work or love life in the near future? Hmm. Victoria, did you delete your other question? Okay. Work or love life, Victoria. You know what, Victoria? My heart is like, I don't like personally have anything against answering a second question, but my heart is telling me to save that, and I'll write myself a little note. Because I feel like there are a lot of questions in here, and we need to go move on. And I just want to make sure that I can get to everybody to answer at least one question. So work or love. Okay, so if we have time, I'll come back to that. Okay. Valentina Rose. You think you're receiving spiritual messages to stop seeing this guy Ron that you've known for a few months. Can you offer guidance? Receiving spiritual messages. Okay. All right. Valentina. Guys, am I coming through okay? Because when I'm looking at my video, it kind of seems like I'm like lagging a little bit, but I did get new internet, but I don't have it set up. I haven't perfected the connection yet. But yeah, just let me know. Okay, Victoria asked about her parents. Okay. Okay. Ron. Wonder what your spiritual messages are. First thing I'm feeling, Valentina, is that you are a heart centered person. That you are like you take your feelings seriously, and you listen. Like I'm just seeing you as just a very centered person, someone who like you should trust your intuition. These messages that you're receiving, like they're like your channel is clear. I'm feeling that really strongly. Your channel is very clear, your heart is very open. And and what I'm sensing about this situation is that you are such a open, loving, non-judgmental person. And sometimes when we're like that, it can make it really hard to have discernment, because we are so accepting of people, and we see how, like maybe they make mistakes, but they don't have to be perfect. And we can end up being a lot more tolerant than we should be for our own good. So that's what I'm sensing here, is that it's like you're giving him too much of a benefit of a doubt. So the message that's coming through, Valentina, is, what do you actually want? And these, like, when you think about what you actually want, are those standards and boundaries, or is it just preferences, because we can be really clear about what we want, but really what a lot of us do is we just behave as if, like, well, that would be great, that would be great if I could have someone who took me to dinner a lot, and and really made me feel beautiful and was kind to me all the time, like that would be great. But if they don't do that, is that a deal breaker for you? Or are you just going to uh just throw a bunch of love and light on it, and end up accepting something that's so much less than what you actually want? So you don't have to hate a person to stop seeing them. You don't have to judge them and shame them and make them feel like they're wrong. Not that you would do that, but that's what people tend to do. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling is, you can trust your intuition, and you don't have to hate him, but you just need to get really clear on, what do you want? And why would you ever think that you have to settle for less, you know? So we can have really high standards, and also be loving, and also be forgiving, and not be controlling, and not telling people what they have to do. Just like, okay, that's not going to work for me. Like, you do whatever you want, but that's not going to work for me. This is what I want. And and you go do you, and I'm going to take care of me, and I'm going to wait for the thing that I really want to show up. So one of the most important things that I learned at the end of my dating journey, when I decided to stop dating, is, I will never, ever, ever lower my standards for anyone. I'm really clear on what my standards are. And if someone is not capable of meeting those standards, they can just go be with somebody else, no hard feelings at all. But it's just not gonna work for me. So yeah, I just feel like, be clear on what your standards are, and trust your intuition, because your intuition is strong, and your intuition leads you really, really clearly. And that is your North Star. Like, what your heart wants and what your heart is telling you, that is always your North Star. And if you just do not compromise on that, then the universe will reflect that back to you. I hope that helps, Valentina. Mm, yeah. Okay, Missy. Yes, I was feeling that hurt in your heart. Will she be leaving soon, or will they be getting together? Mm. Um. Okay, Missy. Okay, so Missy says she and her husband are separated. So I was just feeling this old hurt in her heart. And just to reiterate, Missy, what you're experiencing right now, it has to do, it's like it's a repeat. It's a repeat of old things from childhood. And so if you can see this as a mirror, I don't know if you're just dropping in, we were just talking about this. If you can see this as a mirror, then you will be able to heal through this at lightning speed. If you could stop, just bring your energy to yourself, bring your energy to your own healing, and stop trying to control and shame and blame, then you will heal through this at lightning speed. You will move through this at lightning speed. But the more that you fight against it and resist against it, the more it's going to stay. So that's what I was talking about before, but just to get everybody caught up, for those of you in the future who can't read this. So she and her husband are separated. She moved her kids out. There were a lot of lies and anger coming from him. He already moved in with an old friend the day after they broke up, and this was just a few months ago. Will this other girl, this friend, be leaving soon, or will they be getting together? She's a bad influence for her kids. He hasn't seen and he hasn't seen them much since this happened. Hmm. Okay. So he's like staying with a friend and just calling her a friend. Okay. Missy, I'm seeing that same the same stuff. I'm seeing that same stuff. Like, there are things from the past that need to be healed, things from the past that need to be forgiven. And this is stressing you out so bad that it's like it's taking you away. It's taking you away from your healing work. Like, if you're tuned into my channel, you're probably tuned into lots of spiritual wisdom. And so it's like you've been on the spiritual path, but this situation is messing you up. And I know, when you've got your kids involved, you want to protect your kids. You want for them to, if they're going to go see their father, you want them to be in a stable environment. So what there's so much I could say. There's so much I want to say. I got to stop myself, and I got to see what your spirit has to tell you. But that's the first thing I'm sensing. That's the first thing they're showing me again. This is a repeat from the past, something that needs to be healed from the past. And it hurts. I don't mean to minimize your hurt. That's something that they want me to tell you. Acknowledge your hurt, acknowledge that this is painful. You have to allow your part of the healing is allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling. So feelings are powerful, they have to be felt. They carry information for you, but they are not always the truth. So feel your feelings while understanding that these stories that you have that's going on in your head while you're feeling the feelings are not necessarily the truth. You've got to feel it and move that energy before you even have a chance to see the truth. So yeah, like that is just so the message. Like, you got to feel this. You've got to give yourself some time to just like journal, rage, scream into a pillow, scream your head off while you're driving. Like, you've got it. This is heavy, heavy energy that's being activated in you. Ooh. I had a bad breakup a few years ago that it was a gift from spirit, because like he just activated all my old wounds, and it was bad. It was like all the darkness, but I was ready for it. I knew what it meant. I knew that I wouldn't be feeling it if it wasn't mine. If it wasn't, and it wouldn't be that strong if it wasn't something that was like stuffed deep down in me. And I so I did the work, I did the work. I took my attention off of him. I didn't blame him. I used it as an opportunity to heal. And he's still my friend now. We didn't talk for 6 months. It was an ugly breakup, but I was able to see him as the soulmate that he is, and see the soul contract that we had together. And now he's one of my closest friends. There's still like so much love between us. But that's it's not easy. It's not easy when someone is cheating and lying and being awful. Mm. One more thing, Missy, because this is a specific situation here, and you're wanting this situation to be gone, but I know that's not that's not what they're going to tell you to do. They're not going to tell you what you need to do to fix the situation, but you need an answer specifically on that. It's a block in your power. You're feeling a block in your power in the future. You're seeing it as a block to where you want to go. Seeing it like a roadblock. But what they're showing me is that this roadblock, it's like it's like made of like balsa wood, maybe like thick paper or balsa wood. It's like a stage prop. It's drama. It's drama. It's this temporary drama. It's a temporary stage prop. It tells a story. It's not the truth, and it is not truly an obstacle. It's not. The meaning that you're giving to it is making it feel like an obstacle, but what you are feeling is old hurt from the past that hasn't been healed. That's why it feels like such a big deal. And yes, you can think about this. You can say, well, but she's a bad influence on my kids, and I don't want my kids to be around that. And while that may be true, this is a this is a practical situation. You either have legal rights to keep your kids away from him, or you don't have legal rights to keep your kids away from him. And in a divorce situation, unfortunately, that's the way it is. And people can just have opinions all day about what the ex should be doing with the kids. But unless they are in danger in a way where you can take legal action, then there's nothing for you to do but just give it to God. Now, if they're in danger, that's a different situation. But if they're just, you know, being in a situation that you wouldn't prefer, then that is that is an opportunity for you to become a warrior of your own emotions. It's like going to the emotional gym, getting so aware of your thoughts and getting so aware of what these feelings are that are coming up in you, and to heal this. What I'm sensing is a codependency. It is a over concerned with what's going on with other people so that you can feel a sense of control, but you're the only one that you have control over. And so this is a very, very challenging situation that is designed to make you stronger. Your spirit designed this for you to make you stronger. And it wouldn't have happened if you weren't really off balance to begin with because of all this stuff in the past. But it's okay because you're perfectly capable of healing. You're perfectly, like, you have everything it takes. You have the intelligence, you have the connection to God, you have the drive, and you have a love for your children to give them a better life and to show them what healthy relationships look like. Yeah, this is an opportunity for you to become a warrior, and you only have control over yourself. And part of becoming a warrior is just learning to accept and love and know where you have power and know where you don't have power. Just to the best of your ability, mind your own business, reinforce yourself. So I know it's complicated. Once again, if you or anybody else needs more one on one help and just wondering how to apply these principles to your own situation, I'm here for it. I do coaching, I do one on one spirit readings, and I can help you a lot. I'm happy to help. Okay. Google Whiz, welcome back. And seeing a few notifications about mass shootings popping up. Don't watch the news much, but still unnerves me. And it's both sad and worrying. How do I keep my vibe high and trust that I'm safe? Okay. I've got my own way of dealing with these things. But let's see what spirit has to say for you specifically. I drink a lot of water. FYI, to you guys who are into this kind of stuff, I drink so much water during these spirit readings because I get so thirsty, and it's the water is a conductor of all energy. And especially with it, like, I have to stay really hydrated to be able to keep my sensitivity up. But it's not like I'm trying to drink the water, I just get so thirsty, and I think that it's because there's so much energy running through me. So if you want to increase your intuition, that's a tip for you. Stay very, very hydrated. Okay. So to Google Whiz, for people who are worried, for Google Whiz and other people like you who are worried about these awful things happening that you hear about in the news, mass shootings. Okay. I'm going to try to keep my head out of this. I'm going to try to channel through the message. We're at a tipping point. We're at a tipping point in the energy of the entire planet. Things have gotten so good and things have gotten so bad. There's a polarity. It's a polarity that's increasing day by day. We're seeing the worst things possible at the same time that we are seeing the best things possible. Both things are holding the other in balance. At this point, with the balance of the energy, what I'm hearing is that there can be nothing else. It's a tipping point, and it will. So it's, I've heard this in different ways, that there's a split that's about to happen. And I don't really get into this kind of stuff, so I can't speak about it very clearly at all. But because, I have spiritual feeds, running through my social media stuff, I hear little blurbs about this. But I know for sure that this time in history has been predicted in so many different traditions. If you look in the zodiac, you can see that, like, there's something like really crazy going on right now. There is a it's the end of things, the beginning of new things. It's a tipping point, and there's so much polarity. So the message is that you just have to trust. The worse this thing is that you're hearing about, the better something else is that's being born. And what I'm hearing is that the light is so much more powerful than the dark, because the darkness is only absence of light. The darkness only has power because of humans. It's only the humans that give the darkness power. The darkness does not have power on its own on the other side of the veil. That's what I'm hearing. That's the message that's coming through. The darkness does not have power on the other side of the veil. All of the darkness is, they depend on humans. So the non physical intelligence that is dark and that is evil depend entirely on humans to work through. So don't be one of those humans. Choose the light over and over again. Your focus has the creative power of God. What you focus on will grow. Put your focus on the most amazing things, the most miraculous things, the things that feed your energy, the things that feel good to you, the things that feel right to you, and those will grow, and you will see more and more of it coming across your path. And if you are ever going to be the one who's chosen to make a difference when something is really bad, you will have so much more power to be that person if your vibration is high. So you be the strongest person that you can be, the most positive, focusing on the best things that give you the most hope, that will give you a balanced nervous system that is easily regulated, make your body strong, make your mind strong, handle your emotions, and then you will be given the opportunity to help when it's right for you. And when that opportunity arrives, you'll be ready for it and you will know exactly what to do. You'll be the one who has the strength and the knowledge and the heart and the power to really make a difference. So it's not that we're not supposed to help. It's not that we're just supposed to turn a blind eye. But honestly, you can't do anything about the shootings. You can't go looking for those boys who have guns who are about to snap. They're all over the world. You can't go looking for them. If you feel called to fight against gun law and you're in alignment to do that, then do it. But are you in alignment to do it? The only way that you're going to be in an alignment to be the most powerful helper that you can possibly be is to pull your energy back to yourself, to feed yourself, to be as strong as you can possibly be, and then trust that the opportunities to help will come to you. And and honestly, that is exactly it makes me think of the first time a school shooting really got to me. It was my second year of being a public school teacher. I was a art teacher in public schools for 9 years, and my second year, that was when that Sandy Hook shooting happened, when a young man went in and shot kindergartners and first graders. It was the only time a mass shooting had ever happened at an elementary school. It was the first time. It was the first time. And and at that time, my daughter was a first grader and her classroom was the very first one next to the front door at the school. And that shooting hit me so hard, so hard. It terrorized me. It completely terrorized me. And that was a long time ago. That was 15 years ago, well before my awakening. So so at some point in it was probably around the time of my awakening, like 8 or 9 years ago, I decided to totally swear off of all politics. It was the year that Trump was very first elected in his first term. I swore off of all politics and I just said a prayer. I said, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. If there's anything I need to know, make sure that I know it. Otherwise, I don't want anything to do with it. And that has been my deal ever since the very first year that Trump was elected for his first term, however long ago that was. Like it was like 9 years ago. It was like right at the time that my awakening happened. So you don't have to pay attention to the crap. You really don't have to pay attention to it. And I have asked over and over again to be led to the people that I can help. And here I am. Here I am. And I'm helping in the best possible way that I can possibly help for me. So I hope that helps, Google Whiz. Sorry, my answers are really long winded tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying them. Okay, Missy Tong. I usually remember my dreams that are messages and predictions. Lately, I haven't been able to remember if I'm even dreaming. And my husband said I'm definitely at battle with someone. Oh, so you've been noisy in your sleep. Who am I fighting with on the astral plane? Also, the nights that I'm doing battle, my familiar is in bed with me, protecting me. Mm. So that word familiar, I think it means different things to different people. But if your familiar is protecting you, then that would be a good thing. So what is going on? What is going on? Some of us are much more involved in the non-physical realm than we are in the physical realm, and I think I'm one of those people. My inner world is very big, very, very big. My outer world is kind of small. And Missy, I think that you might be one of those people too. Haven't been able to remember her dreams, but you've been having stressful dreams and you've been noisy. Okay, what's going on with Missy? Hmm. What I'm hearing, Missy, is that you are indeed stressed out about something going on in your life right now, and it's something that you don't want to look at, but it's right in front of you. I'm seeing something connected to your heart. And do you have a child? Or is there something that's making you feel like a child? It's like either someone who looks like you or someone who is you in a child form, in your heart chakra and right next to you. So it's like you feel protective. You feel protective over this child, whether it's you or your own child. But you are most definitely stressed out about something going on in your life right now, and it's something you don't want to look at. It's something that you are, like, trying to convince yourself or convince other people that it's not bothering you, but it's totally bothering you. And you're not able to tune into your dreams because your cortisol levels are high. So cortisol competes with melatonin. They have an exact inverse relationship. So as soon as cortisol levels go up, cortisol will mess with so many of your hormones and enzymes. Like cortisol will mess up so many things. But specifically with melatonin, it makes the melatonin levels go down. Melatonin helps you dream. It helps you sleep. It helps you sleep deeply. And and it makes sense because when we are very stressed out, then that's signaling to our nervous system that, that there's danger. And so if there is danger, then it doesn't make sense to sleep deeply. We need to be able to stay awake through the night or sleep very lightly so that we can protect ourselves and protect our families. And so that's why cortisol and melatonin are like that together. So you're not remembering your dreams because your melatonin levels are low and your cortisone levels are high. And so what's going on in your dreams, what I'm hearing is that it really doesn't even matter. You need to look at what's going on in your life that's a mirror to it. There's something that is asking for your attention. You're acting like it's not a problem, but it's totally a problem. And I'm hearing that you need to take action to either like protect yourself, but it's either like you're protecting your inner child or you're protecting an actual child. So I hope that helps, Missy. Okay. Okay. Okay, Miss Junebug. Recently discovered that your sister's been telling your children that I abused them for years. They are adults now and they won't even speak to me or their father. Will truth ever be realized? Huh. So so what? Your sister is telling your kids that you abuse them and they don't remember that? Or I don't understand. Like, they don't remember that, but they believe her? Or maybe they didn't see something that you did as abuse and now she has them convinced that it was abuse, and they won't even speak to you or their father. Okay. Seems like there must be more to the story there because that doesn't really add up. But let's just take it at face value here and see what spirit has to say for you. Okay. Your sister told your kids something about what you did in the past to them that wasn't true, but your children are siding with your sister to the point that they're not speaking to you or their father. Okay. Let's see. Injury in the heart from the past. This is so much something related to you and your sister that hasn't been healed. This is not the only instance of her trying to manipulate you, trying to badmouth you. She's had it out for you for a long time, but why? And why are your kids believing them? But believing her. So, okay, and then of course this is bothering you because this is a core relationship. This is messing with your it's just messing with your feeling of safety in the world because this is your tribe. Your children feel like your tribe, but then your sister is I'm just seeing her energy like growing into your body like tree branches, like the tips of tree branches. Like you guys are very enmeshed, you and your sister, very, very enmeshed. What I'm hearing, Miss Junebug, is that like you and your sister both experienced abuse as children, and she has more, like you both have trouble mentally because of it. You have parts of your mental health that are shaky because of the abuse from the past. But with her, it's much worse. It's much, much worse because you have created a life that has a lot more stability. So this is an issue between you and your sister. And even though she's the one whose behavior has been so shocking and so unacceptable, there's still the other side of it where you are responding to her behavior by really resenting her and closing your heart to her. And what you have to understand is that she carries the same hurt that you do. You guys were hurt by the same family and the same parents. You guys have the exact same unhealed wounds. And you closing your heart to her is the same as you closing your heart to yourself. And this doesn't mean that you have to let her into your life. You know, she could be like so toxic to where it doesn't feel safe and it might not feel safe for a long time to let her into your life at all. But you can forgive her from afar. You can work through these feelings from afar. It's like her branches are growing into you and your branches are growing into her. And she feels your judgment. She feels your disapproval. And that just makes her want to lash out at you and bring you down even more. So it just feels like a very old, stuck situation, things from the past that hurt really, really bad that neither one of you want to look at. You've both just convinced yourselves that there's no point in looking at what happened in the past, but it is old hurt that needs to be healed. It needs to be felt so that you can untangle from her and just get some clarity on what's going on. And what I'm hearing is that this situation will persist as long as you stay angry. The anger creates energy cords, and the energy cords, I'm seeing them as branches, but they're just ties of energy between you that are just twisted and just messed up. And so as long as you continue to put energy into those cords through focusing on anything other than love, acceptance, forgiveness, just accepting. You can't change her, you can't control her. You can't be the victim. You just have to work on healing yourself and try the best you can to just see her as someone who's experiencing the same pain that you have. And it will persist as long as you choose victimhood and resentment and blame. But when you heal, then she will show you the mirror of healing. The situation will open up, opportunities will arrive for clarity. And and what I'm hearing also is that you just have to let your children believe whatever they're going to believe. And when it's like if the truth is the truth, they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out on their own. And if you have nothing to worry about, then don't worry about it. If you know you've done nothing wrong, then just let that be your comfort. If you have done something wrong, then that's something else that needs to be healed. Something you need to forgive yourself for. So I hope that helps. Without knowing a lot of details, that's what I'm sensing in the energy. Okay. Okay. Benita is asking, is Sean a good person for me, for my heart and soul? First thing I'm hearing, Benita, is ask your heart. How does your heart feel about it? When you really, really, because the answer, like if you're talking about, is it good for your heart and soul? Ask your heart and your soul. Feel into your chest. What feels good to you will feel good to you 95% of the time. Relationships are always going to have their problems. You may go through a period that feels very challenging, but if someone is good for you, really good for you, they're going to make you feel good. You're going to feel happy. You're going to feel safe. And and you can feel it in your chest. You can really feel it. And so you can ask your heart yes or no questions and just sense it. Sense the sensations that are coming from your chest. The good feelings are upward and open, the bad feelings are downward and they're constricted. And so you just ask, like, is Sean, ask yes or no questions from all the angles. Is Sean a good person for me? Is he good for my heart? Is he good for my soul? And then ask, what if I just stop seeing him? What if I just end everything right now and see how that feels? And I've had connections with people in my dating story where I had to ask that question 5 times a day. Like I had to ask, like, should I text him back? Should I say yes when he asked me out? And there are some relationships that are just like that, that you just or maybe you're in a season in your life where you just feel very, very confused and you just have a lot to learn. But your heart will always guide you. And sometimes you're meant to be with someone for a few months or a few years, but they're not the one that you're going to be with until you're old and gray. But Benita, if you need a little help, what I'm sensing, like when I put myself in your position, I imagine what you're feeling in your heart. Um, what what I'm feeling is that you are you're having a hard time trusting because of things that have happened in the past. And you are afraid that things are going to be bad in the same way with Sean that they were with someone in the past. And I am when I feel into the situation, I am not feeling, that he's a bad person. But whether he is truly good for your heart and your soul, then that's something that is up to you to decide. And you just and you're just gonna have to. Like if you don't know those things automatically, if you can't trust your intuition and trust the way that your heart feels at all, then you need to practice it, you know? But that's what I'm feeling. That's the message for you. This is an opportunity for you to practice feeling into your own heart, deciding what's right for you and trusting what's right for you when it comes, trusting the feelings and the messages that are coming from your heart. And I'm also sensing that you have hurt from the past. It's making hard for you to see. Okay. Ishika. Okay. Do you see me landing a job at this company called FI? Any guidance on its process? Do you see me? Okay, Ashika. Let's see. Um, with things like this, Ashika, when I'm just like feeling so many different energies, I hesitate to give like great big yes or no answers, with big things like jobs and divorces and stuff like that. But honestly, what I'm feeling is like such a great big yes, like huge great big yes on working. It's like either working for this company or you are just about to start working for something that feels just like this. Like whatever it is that feels right to you about this company, you are fully in alignment with those aspects of it. And so I can't say for sure, because I don't know more about the situation. And but but the feeling that the feeling that I'm sensing from you and the feeling that I'm getting about like what you think this company is, I'm getting a great big yes for it. So you are either going to be working for them or somebody else that it gives you all the same feelings and all the same hopes as this company does. But whatever it is, it feels like extremely in alignment, like great opportunity for you, great opportunity for growth, more money, just like so much learning, so much of a feeling of power that you've wanted for a long time. Like really like strong alignment, super positive feeling. So I hope that helps. That was like such a great big yes that it was easy to get through. And I'm also feeling, Ashika, like you already knew, like you already knew, but you weren't trusting yourself. Okay, moving on to Lynn. Have I already met the person I will have my next long term romantic relationship with? Have you already met the person? So once again, Lynn, like I hesitate to give great big yeses or nos, but I'm at this point feeling into the energy of your question. I'm getting a great big no. There may be there may be someone who is expanding your idea of what's possible. And sometimes when we meet someone who really greatly expands our idea of what's possible, it's so easy to think like, "Oh my gosh, they must be the one." But they're just there to show you what's possible. And the message that's coming through for you, Lynn, is when you meet the person who you are in alignment to be in a long-term relationship with, he's going to let you know. He will leave no question in your mind. And if a man is leaving a whole lot of question marks over your head, it's because he's not sure. And maybe he's not sure because he's not ready. Maybe he'll never be ready for anybody. Maybe he already likes somebody else. Maybe you're not the kind of person that he's looking for. Who knows? It doesn't really even matter. Whatever's in the way of him letting you know for sure really doesn't matter. You just need to know that when the right man comes along, he will absolutely let you know because that's what testosterone is for. That's one of the many magical things that testosterone brings to our world. When a man knows, he knows, and he cannot keep it a secret. He cannot. And that's the kind of man you want. You want a man who is that sure about you. So yeah. Yeah, it's a great big no because when he shows up, he's going to let you know. And whoever it is that you're thinking may be, he's just there to show you what's possible, to have you thinking bigger, like your spirit is leading you towards thinking bigger and realizing that there's more out there than you realize and you are worth more. You are a match to someone who's so much greater than what you thought before. You guys are welcome. Thank you for being sweet. Okay. Yeah, Missy said that her cortisol levels have been very high, so it makes sense. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, Google Whiz. You stay stay safe and out of trouble. Yes, follow your heart. Your angel, like you literally have a guardian angel. Every single person has a guardian angel. And if you just believe that and open up your mind to it and open up your heart, then you will be guided. You're always being guided. Always. You just have to trust the guidance and follow the guidance. Yeah, Miss Junebug, I was definitely getting that feeling that your sister's narcissistic. I'm feeling like very strongly like mentally ill, like not well mentally. Yeah, you fought as kids. Yeah. Thank you, Missy. You guys are all amazing too. I love tuning into your energy. I love working with you. I love talking to you. Okay. Okay. Okay, Victoria, you've been paying attention. You're like seeing that the questions are winding down. And it's totally time to wind down and you're like, "I'm gonna get my question in." I like your determination, Victoria. And yet and I would have remembered. I totally would have remembered. But yes, perfect timing. So this is gonna be my last question that I take. 1 hour and 47 minutes. Mm, okay. What does your spirit have to tell you about work, the one you want to grow old with? That's what so many of us want, right? That's the big dream. To have the best career and to find that person that we feel so safe with that we want to have a family with them. That's what most of us want. And if you don't want that, that's perfectly fine. Because a lot of times it's not all that it's cracked up to be. First thing I'm seeing, Victoria, feel like I'm not quite hearing the full message yet, but I just want to tell you the very first thing I'm seeing is like bright golden light coming towards me and then coming up your body and it's just filled with like sparkles and butterflies. It's like a lot of happiness. A lot of just happiness. I'm feeling like butterflies in your stomach. And I feel like this is partly just your energy. Like this is just how you are. And it totally fits with these amazing parents that I'm feeling, that I felt earlier in your energy field. It's like, I mean, love is just the best thing. Like parents who just send you, like, are just constantly broadcasting love to you all throughout your childhood. Oh my gosh. Like we'll all have problems no matter what, but it's crazy how many of us just didn't have that experience. And when I feel into someone's energy field who was raised with so much love as a child, it's like magic. It's incredible how different their energy feels. So that's what I'm feeling. It's like this, like Like you've been programmed for love. You were loved as a child and you have been programmed, like your nervous system is programmed for love. And you felt this loss with, with losing your parents. That's a lot. That's really a lot. And it can make you feel so unsafe. And and it's a wound, it's a wound, it's a trauma. And you can start to doubt that things are going to work out. Like if something that bad can happen, then maybe, you know like living happily ever after just isn't possible. That's kind of how it feels. Like there's a conflict, and it's related to the just losing your parents. That's very traumatic, and it makes all of us feel unsafe. Even, I still have both of my parents, but they both have dementia, and they are not the same people that they used to be. And I feel a loss already, but even in my case, being over 50, I've already had my kids. I already married the love of my life, and I lost, he passed away. And even with everything that I have been through and being this far along in my life, when I lose my parents, it is going to mess me up. Like I just know. And they were like really not the best parents at all. Like they traumatized me. They did the best they could, but oh my gosh, my childhood was like not pretty in so many ways. So even in those cases, it's like it just makes you feel so ungrounded to lose your parents, but to be younger and to have these parents who are like pillars of strength in your life. So I'm being told to remind you again that they are with you, and they are even more powerful now than they were before. And if you can tune into them and believe that they are with you guiding you, then let that be a source of strength for you. I'm also hearing so much that they want the best for you, and they want for you to have the best possible partner. So, what I am hearing, Victoria, is that you most definitely have a soulmate on the way. There's someone, there's like the man of all men, like fantastic man who you have a soul contract with to marry and have children with. And it is absolutely going to happen, but not yet. Not yet. So so what I'm hearing is that you building up yourself is your job right now. You becoming the strongest person that you can possibly be, that's your job. So that when you do find this man, that he just instantly recognizes you. And and the more you build up your life and create a life that you are just so proud of, then the more you just won't be worrying about it at all. You'll probably have lots of men who are interested in you, who are getting, taking your attention and making you feel curious. And and he'll show up when you least expect it. And you're just going to be so busy living your wonderful life that you're not going to have any kind of air of like neediness or desperation or anything. And so what I am hearing is you just imagine the best possible man that you can possibly imagine. What what does he do for work? How does he feel about his work? What kind of integrity does he have? What is his spirituality like? What kind of relationship does he have with his family? What could it be like to be a part of his family? What are his friends like? What do you want it to feel like when you introduce him to your friends? What are your friends who love you the most? How are they going to look at him? So it's like all of these details that you want to get really clear on. And the sky's the limit. Don't don't look out at the cast of characters of single men that are available right now and come to a diminished conclusion of what's possible for you. Because if you exist, he also exists. You are rare and wonderful, and he is rare and wonderful. And there is a soul contract and an alignment, and like nothing's going to keep you apart. Nothing's going to keep you apart when the time comes. But your job right now is to focus on your career, focus on building up your life to the best life that you can possibly have. Focus on building up yourself to the best version of you that you can possibly be. And when you put your energy on that, you will very surely feel a whole lot less worried about what's going on and what's going to be happening. And you just know that he's going to show up. But not quite now. You want to be the best version of you possible. I hope that helps. And but you specifically asked about work life too. What is it? What am I feeling? Yeah, I feel like there's a building up that needs to happen, Victoria. Like there is a like additional skills. And I don't know if it's education or if it's uh learning some kind of something that will make you eligible for a higher paying job, but but just it's but I'm still getting that feeling again. It's like the sky's the limit. You know, don't give yourself a smaller idea of what's possible. Like just think like what would be the ideal? What would I really really want to do? And what is most in alignment for you that will bring you the most happiness and build so that you are building up yourself and building up your life in the best possible way. What I'm hearing is that there are skills. So some kind of education, some kind of training, some kind of certification, and you might know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's like I'm just feeling this like building up, like moving up to a higher floor, just being more valuable in the workplace. And it's just one of the many things that you could possibly do to build up your life to create the best possible life that you possibly can on your own. So, I hope that helps. All right. So that was the last question of the night. I hope that your hearts feel more open and more healed. I hope that you feel more clear. And just remember that those messages are always there for you. And the more you can let go of these things that are not a vibrational match to love, all of the resentment, the hate, the worry, just not trusting that you're protected, not trusting that you're guided, not trusting that you have what it takes to solve your problems and to meet these challenges. All of those feelings are much slower moving and so much more constricted than the feeling of love. So when you can relax and open and trust and choose love, choose forgiveness, choose self love, choose healing, then it literally puts you at a different vibration, puts you at a higher vibration where things are more open, things are more organized, everything that you need to see, you can see more clearly. And then you are a vibrational match to people who are also feeling that way in situations that make you feel even more that way. So, in every way you can, focus on the feeling of love. Let go of all of these things that are not a vibrational match to love. And it will help. You will heal. You will feel so much more happiness, feel so much more joy. Thank you guys again for being here. So many sweet things. Dane's here. Dane, you're late to the party, but thanks for coming. All right. So next week is supposed to be my last week, but I didn't come last week, so I might have to give you guys a bonus at some point. But next week, like August 5th or whenever it is supposed to be my last week of doing this, at least for a while. I'm glad that helped, Victoria. You're so welcome. All right, guys, sending you love. Make sure if you got your question answered tonight, make sure to put a comment in this video after it is posted, not right now, but after it's posted, so that YouTube will recommend this to more people. More people can get the help that they need, and more people will be called into our little community. And the more you write, the better. So thank you so much for supporting my channel, and thanks so much for being here. Sending you love. Bye bye.